In the last 2 weeks, we completely eliminated our dining room and turned it into a lounge, and I'm going to tell you exactly why we did that. I'm Carla from Vintage Hip Decor, and we are in what once was our dining room, but we gave this room a complete makeover. The truth is that we were not using our dining room as often as we should have. We were only really eating in here for Thanksgiving and Christmas, so this underutilized room in our house just became where we put all of our clutter and random things and hung our laundry up to dry. I know that we are not the only ones who have fallen into this habit, so give this video a thumbs up if you also use your dining room as a catch-all and only eat in there for the big holidays. So we decided to switch things up, and we made our dining room into a lounge, library, reading room, whiskey room type situation where we could come at the end of the day to relax and unwind. We changed a lot about this room, from the wall color to the light fixture to adding a board and batten feature wall. But before I show you the entire space, let's go back to where it all started. We started this whole transformation by first selling our dining room table and clearing out this space. Next, I needed to figure out the exact design we wanted for our board and batten wall. So in order to figure that out, I brought in a couple elements that I knew we were going to use in this space. I knew I was going to hang 2 framed posters above the board and batten, so I started by making paper cutouts to represent the posters, removed what was hanging on the wall, and taped up the cutouts for reference. I also brought in 2 pieces of furniture to help us visualize the space. Then my dad came in to help me finish up the design for the board and batten wall, and we took all the measurements that we needed. After we got our plans together, we headed to the hardware store to get our supplies. I also stopped to get the paint I would need to transform this space. Back at home, I wanted to get a couple coats of paint on the wall before installing the board and batten to make painting a little bit easier. So I laid down some paper to protect the floor and started painting the bottom half of the wall, my favorite color, emerald green. All of the paint color information will be down in the description. Then I painted the top half of the wall a fresh, updated white that would eventually be painted on all the walls of this room. After the second coat of emerald green on the bottom, it was time to start the board and batten wall install. We opted to remove the existing baseboard along the wall and replace it with a 1x6 plank. Then it was time to measure out and cut all of the vertical boards, starting with the 2 in the corners. After that, we spaced out and nailed up the rest of the vertical boards. Our goal was to create a square detail in our design, so next we nailed 2 horizontal pieces to the wall. From there, we repeated our previous step of bringing in vertical planks, but this time they were much shorter. To finish up the square detail, we did another row of horizontal planks. I did a quick coat of paint along the top edge, again just to make painting a little bit easier, and then we finally finished the board and batten wall with a small picture frame ledge. Before painting all the planks, I smoothed them with sandpaper and filled the nail holes and seams with caulking. I also caulked along each corner of the board and batten wall to make it look more finished. And then came the fun part. I painted all of the planks the same emerald green to finish it all off. A couple days later, it was time to remove the old curtains we were replacing and paint the rest of the walls the same white I painted the top half of the board and batten wall. We also replaced the old light fixture with a new one. When all of that work was done, this is what the space looked like. Now that all of the painting and installing of the board and batten wall was done, it was time to bring in some furniture. We brought in a mid-century modern china cabinet that ended up being a little bit bigger than we expected in this spot. I knew I wanted to hang some shelves, so I laid out some painter's tape on the wall to help visualize where I wanted to hang them. We also brought in this leather couch, which will be linked for you down below. Then I brought in 2 leather armchairs and a side table. We quickly realized that this layout was way too crowded and not at all the vibe we were going for, so we didn't waste any time rearranging all of it to fit better. One of the last things we did was hang up the posters, a large black mirror, and those shelves that I mentioned before. Now all that was left to do was to add some of the finishing touches. I hope watching us transform this space inspired you to consider if there are any rooms of your home that could be used in a different way that would be more valuable to your family. If you need an office or a playroom more than you need a traditional dining room, don't be afraid to switch things up. If you like home decor and makeovers like this one, we are always doing projects here on our YouTube channel, so hit that subscribe button so that you can hang out with us, and the little bell notification so that you're notified when we post a new video. And as always, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that this inspired you to see your home in a new light. You may have noticed from this video that we absolutely love decorating with vintage and antique home decor. It is one of our favorites, and you will find it in every room in our house. We also have a curated selection of decor available to shop on our website at vintagehipdecor.com.